Today we're going to talk a little bit about my Grand Design Reflection 303 RLS. This is a 2022 model with a build date of November 2021. Purpose of this video is to delve a little bit into the DC electrical system. You can see there that I have the DC panel removed. I also removed my AC panel, primarily so that I could take a look at the inverter prep circuit, get a better understanding of how that works. I'm trying to create a real life scenario here where you would maybe stop on the way to your campsite, open the living area slides, make some lunch, get back in, close everything up, drive to your campsite, get all your slides out, leveled, and your battery might be down to, say, 95%. If and when that happens, when you plug into shore power, I'm trying to figure out if the stock non-lithium converter charger will actually bring that battery up to 100%. I'm also having an issue with my solar charger switching out of lithium mode when it sits there for an extended period of time when plugged into shore power. So during this little test that I'm going to do, I keep going out, checking my solar controller, make sure it stayed in lithium. I did do a reset on the Furrion 50 amp solar charger, and supposedly that's going to make all this work right. So we're going to see. This is a picture of the stock converter that came in my 303 RLS. As you can see, it's Progressive Dynamics model PD9260C. These are the specs for that converter. It operates in 4 different modes and has a built-in charge wizard. The modes are boost, which puts out 14.4 volts, normal 13.6, storage 13.2, and equalization 14.4. At the start of the test, I was disconnected from shore power, drew the battery down to about 94% SOC, 13.1 volts, and had a heavy load. Pretty much every light, every fan, everything turned on in the RV. Then I connected to shore power, switched off the converter, and as you can see, we're pulling about a little over 16 amps from the battery. So now I turn the converter on, and you can see that it immediately goes to charging the battery at over 28 amps. The voltage is coming up, 13.3 volts. I just went out to verify that this solar charger is still operating in lithium mode, which it is. You can see that the current's coming down a little bit. Our battery voltage is going up. We're now at 13.44 volts. And if we take a look at the actual state of charge, we're up to 95%. You can see that the BMS shows the battery is still charging. Another check of the solar charger shows that we are still operating in the lithium mode. And now you can see that our voltage is above the 13.6 volts of the normal charge operation for this converter. So we're definitely in boost mode at this time. Alright, so the battery's up to 98% state of charge. So at some point here, very shortly, we should see that charging amperage drop. So we're still at 17.8 amps. So again, I still have pretty much everything that I can turn on turned on right now. I think we're probably drawing upwards of 18 amps, maybe 20 amps. Figure 6 amps coming in from the solar. So yeah, stock charger is still putting out quite a bit. It's still got to be in bulk mode. Alright, so we reached 99% state of charge. Still putting out 16.2 amps to the battery, 13.72 volts. Solar charger still in lithium mode.
Hi, this is Taylor Blind, the 2015 Ultra Queen from DTC Enterprises. I'm excited.
Okay, so the state of charge hit 100%. Still looks like we're putting out 13.3 amps to the battery. 13.1. Alright, so we've been at 100% for about 5 minutes now. Still see it shows charging. But we are still dropping down to 8.9 amps. Battery voltage 13.99. 1. Battery voltage 14.014. Still shows us at 100%, but charging 7.8 amps. So remember, I still have pretty much everything that I can turn on as far as 12 volt load. You can hear the radio in the background. I did turn off the lights above me just because there was so much glare. 6.6 amps. Also shows charging. Alright, we're back. So, solar charger is still in lithium mode. Battery disconnect switch turned on. See, we're still, converter's holding us, well, between the converter and solar. We're not drawing anything from the battery. Again, I'm going to reach down and turn off the converter switch. And we immediately go into negative current.
Sunny Country 102.5.
Battery is discharging, so we're pulling more power than the solar controller is putting out. I'll flip the converter back on again. We have a short period of time here where we're going to charge, just replenish that battery. And again, this is a Progressive Dynamics 9260C, which is not lithium compatible, but it appears to be in bulk mode right now, where it's putting out sufficient voltage. And I just doing all of this off my BMS, but you can see it's still charging. BMS is going to kick it off here shortly. Alright, so the battery, the BMS must have just turned everything off because our current went down to 0. Battery voltage is 14.0. Battery shows it's in standby now as opposed to charging. Still at 100%. So the load hasn't changed. I'm actually going to go out and turn off, well, I'm going to turn off the converter right here and just see if we go back into a negative. Alright, so definitely the converter is powering the rig. So as soon as I turn off the converter, we go into discharge mode. So let me flip that back on. So now we're back at current going into the battery 0. So again, this is all coming from the battery's BMS. So it turned everything off. Notice voltage is 13.7. Shows us back in standby mode. Alright. Solar charger still in lithium mode. I just went out and hit the battery disconnect switch. You can see it shows current going into the battery at 0. Still in standby mode.
Study Country 102.5. The ending of that song, the way that sounds, that picking, let's have to reason.
Alright, so right now, solar charger, I estimate putting out about 6 amps. I think my total load is still got to be up close to 20 amps. I got the battery disconnect switch turned off. Alright, so we reach down and turn off the converter again. So obviously we just lost power to everything. Battery standby mode. Alright, let me flip the converter back on again. So definitely shows that with the disconnect switch off, converter is not charging the battery. Everything DC wise that's in the RV is powered strictly by the converter. Alright, I'm going to go check my solar controller again one more time, turn the battery disconnect back on. Alright, back to 0 amps and standby. So what that all tells me is that my Progressive Dynamics non-lithium charger is able to go into bulk mode, at least for a little while, to get this battery up to 100%. Again, we still have some solar power coming into it, but nowhere near what the load is right now. Everything turned on. it's able to get my battery up to 100%. And one of the big things that I was trying to test was my solar controller is staying in lithium mode, at least at this point. So I'm gonna probably come back and repeat all this again tomorrow. Gonna leave it plugged into shore power, gonna leave the converter on, and we'll see where everything is tomorrow.